Yeah, he helped do their wedding. Yes. It was, yeah. Yes, it was very nice. No, I mean, you know, it was a picture of it in your own backyard. The amount of work was insane. Yeah, I saw photos of that. No, that's why it's funny. So I told somebody they found it in Marvin Bailey. Yeah, so it was, but they just, I mean, scary. Oh, yeah, that's the one I know about her. That's the whole yes, but she did a good job. I can't imagine. Yeah, it was very fun. They're in Raleigh here. All right, good. You very good. Nice to see you. I'm upright and taking it in air, so. That's awesome. Yeah. Very good. Nice to see you. We are, yes. As of May. I agree. I thought last summer was too hot. This summer was more like I don't want to get it. It's weird how it went from your wet weather to a dry summer to a dry weather to a wet summer. Yeah. Yes. Just the average winter was all we would need. Hey, very good. Yeah, let's see. How are you? Yeah. No, it should be a good game for number 5 team in the country. They're really good. Oh, yeah. All right, thank you. No. No, can he just present it? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I really think we're just observe. Yeah. What if churches? No.
Is this your yeah. Oh no. Oh, easily. And like when they like come, if they were like signed. Oh, that was a good one to be. Oh, so you gotta sit through all
I should have figured this is my last name.
Motion and second.
I got G's and J's in my name.
Yeah.
U is fine. Yeah, likewise.
Addison. We can get her family.
It is 6 o'clock. I'll call the Sartell City Council meeting to order for September 9th. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Council will be making a motion to amend the agenda. We'll be adding item number 13 for a closed session. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? And I'll repeat this later on, but reason for having a closed session is pursuant to state statute for the review of sale of real property for the city. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We have special presentation tonight. Chief Silliard.
Stephen, great, I'll have you come up here with me. So a couple awards tonight. One in particular that I'm really proud about is another Lifesaver Award. It's kind of a cool part of being the chief of police, is to honor our officers and members of the community who help save a life. Stephen Perea happened to lose consciousness back in March, and his wife Donna, you want to come up here too? Called 911 and started CPR on her own husband. You might imagine that was a pretty traumatic event for Donna, as I'm sure they discussed as a family, and our officers responded. Officer Derek Whitehead, Officer Logan Heck, and Officer Emma Brown. Can you guys come on up too?
Chief, would you mind sliding over just so TV can catch you as well? Sorry.
Better? So after the initial 911 call, Officer Eck and Officer Whitehead arrived on the scene. Also started CPR and brought an AED in. Officer Emma Brown arrived shortly after And during CPR, the AED had advised 2 separate times to give a shock. Officers delivered that shock to Stephen and were able to get a pulse back, which is pretty amazing for anybody who's responded to these events. This is really uncommon. For the most part, we try our best, but we don't always succeed at these. In fact, more often than not, we don't. So really cool that this worked out. And then we do have one of the paramedics, James, you have to pronounce your last name. Blumenshine also responded as well with 2 other paramedics and continued work on Stephen. What I also found was kind of miraculous is Derek Whitehead turned into an ambulance driver that night. So the paramedics could focus on Stephen's care. He left his squad and hopped in the ambulance and got the ambulance to the hospital. So pretty miraculous, I'm sure. Your family is very thankful, but I'll use a few words.
Thank you. I'm here today because of these people and the 2 paramedics who couldn't be here tonight. And I am so forever grateful. I'm grateful to live in a community that has first responders that can respond so quickly, are trained so well, and have the equipment that they need to save a life like mine. I've done a little research. The cardiologist indicated that what I suffered was a sudden death event. And to have a cardiac arrest away from a healthcare facility, it's probably a 5 to 10% survival rate. So they were able to keep me alive long enough to get me to the St. Cloud Hospital, where I was treated. I spent 27 days in the hospital, and I have been home since April the 23rd, and I'm doing very well. I would say that I'm almost back to normal. And I couldn't imagine when I woke up 11 days later after my event in the hospital that I would ever be upright and walking and as much of myself as I am. So I'm so grateful and appreciative that I get to meet you tonight. Thank you personally, and thank you for the work that you guys do each and every day. We are a lucky community to have you part of it. Thank you.
I think it's also kind of cool to note this is your second one, Logan, in less than a year, and Emma with less than a year on also your first one. So thank you again for everything you guys do.
Can you guys just center?
It's my bad side.
Officer Carrie Bonfield, K-9 Killer. Don't give me that one. I heard you got a little surprise tonight.
Yeah, a big one.
Who was in the audience?
My whole family.
Did you guys drive all the way from the farm too?
I didn't tell them about this, so.
So, just a few months ago, Carrie was nominated and awarded the Community Service Award for the Minnesota Association of Women's Police. I won't read the 2-page letter I wrote, but it was, everything I wrote in that was true. It was one of the easiest nominations I was ever able to make. And because of that tonight, we wanted to honor you. I'm going to issue Chief's Commendation for your work with Kimber, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts that I had shared at the conference with everyone there. And I have never met anyone quite like Carrie, certainly not Kimber either, but Carrie's ability to connect with individuals in our community is second to none. And when the opportunity, Captain Mater had come to me with the opportunity for a therapy canine. It was that much easier to say yes to, knowing we had someone on staff as talented and as fitted for this position as Carrie. So, in the commendation and recognition of your community service award from the Minnesota Women's Association of Police, we acknowledge your outstanding commitment to the Sartell Police Department's inaugural therapy canine unit. Your consistent efforts have not only ensured the success of the unit for the citizens, but also benefited our staff and city as a whole. Your tireless dedication to connecting with citizens from all walks of life have fostered legitimacy and trust with our community and our profession. Thank you, Carrie. As a last note to, Carrie may not be aware of this, but our agency did receive an innovation award from a local organization as well, which I think is still private, so we won't fully announce it here tonight, but because of Captain Mater's work and Carrie's work in that, this is the second or third police therapy canine unit in the state, I think, so we kind of trailblazed that. Captain Mater's taking calls from Fargo PD, St. Paul PD, and all around larger agencies than us, trying to figure out the playbook on how to do this right. And a lot of that has to do with both of their work, so thank you guys again. Can we get a picture of all the PD staff?
What?
Yeah, you weren't getting away.
Right behind Cooper.
And that way a little bit. Okay.
Good job.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Council, we had no one sign up for open forum public comment. Moving on to the approval of city council minutes. I had just one note, and I connected with Rob real quick. Under the new business 2024 utility rate study, the way it's worded is pretty descriptive, but I just wanted to make clear that no rate action was taken, that there was an objective study done, we got the results, but that an actual rate adjustment would need a public hearing. So just for clarification, I wanted to make a note of that.
Yeah, are you all fine if we put an amendment to add a line there that says that any rate increases would come before future council with fee schedule changes? Just something clarifying that any rate changes still have to come before at a fee schedule time.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yep, so I'll make that motion
Okay.
To approve with the amended under the 2024 utility rate study that no rate action was taken and that any action would require council.
Yep, perfect.
That motion, is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Motion and a second, any discussion or questions on that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. On to consent agenda, we have items A through F. I'll look for a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items A through F.
We have a motion to approve, is there a second? Motion and a second, any discussion?
Just one other question actually on there, and it's just a side note, you know, we're looking at budgets and approved budgets. I just kind of noticed that we were saying on one of them that we're under budget, but then the soft costs would put us over, so are soft costs typically involved in that or not?
Which
I
item?
believe it's the overlay, if I remember correctly. Where we say, I think we're 24,000 under, but if you add the soft costs, it brings us to the 1.3 versus the 1.2 that was there. So I was just asking more on that, just noticed it today.
Sure. So with the Pinecone Road South overlays and then all the other overlays and seal coats and street and drainage repairs that we had budgeted for in 2024, I just gave an allocation to engineering and community development of 2.4 million. So if they're going over on overlays, that means they'll have to come under on either seal coats or street and drainage repairs or the overlays on Pinecone Road South, since that's a separate project. So although we might have gone over on this particular project, there's still room for us to come under elsewhere to still meet budget.
Council, any other discussion, questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. On to item number 7, we have public hearings. We have the Centricare financing.
Hi, yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. So Centricare is planning on a conduit bond financing through the city of St. Cloud, and a portion of the project will be financed will be in Sartell. So per Minnesota statute, the host city must hold a public hearing on the bonds and provide approval through a resolution, which was included within your packets. The financing has no financial impact for Sartell because Centricare is covering all of our costs for our bond counsel and legal counsel, and there's no liability that we have to record in our financial statements. We also have a member from Centricare to provide more information on the financing. Any questions for me before we open the public hearing?
Seeing none.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm Dave Larson. I'm the Vice President of Facilities and Support Services for Centricare. Just to provide some clarity on what's on the other side of 120 is our Sartell expansion for family practice. Currently that practice is in the old, and I'll use terminology that people remember, the old St. Cloud Medical Group building, the green building. We are adding on to what is now called the Sauk Crossing building, which is the old Alina building for history, if those recall. We are doubling the size of that building and moving the Sartell Family Practice Group from that old medical group location over to the new building. Within the details of the bond financing, that represents about $40 million of what is a total of refinancing and then some new debt in the total of about $333 million to accommodate lots of other projects that are in the list. So if you look through the resolution, you'll see some refinancing, you'll see also the new stuff as well. So we're very excited. We've been kind of sitting on our hands through the pandemic on several strategic projects to move forward, and the time has come, and we're here to seek support in approving the conduit financing for us to borrow more money and continue to build. So if you have any questions for me, happy to take them.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Larson? Thank you.
Thank you.
Council will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to testify on the Centricare financing, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to testify on Centricare financing? Third and final call, anyone wishing to testify? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Council, any discussion? I don't know that I would call it routine, but certainly something we've done in the past for other entities within our jurisdiction as well. So, as Rob said, it has no financial implications on our balance sheets or our community. Seeing no other discussion, would look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
The motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve resolution for revenue bonds. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to department reports, please.
Mayor, members of the council, I have my report. Stand for any questions if you have any.
Any questions for PD?
I'd just like to comment, I really appreciate in your report as well as always the things this evening, just to continue to tell the story and shine a light on all the good things that are happening. I think that news is important, and since you've come here, we've obviously had multiple of these in the last year, and I really appreciate that, so thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Fire.
Mayor, members of council, in front of you have a monthly report for fire. One little area I wanted to point out, we did present a plaque for outstanding contribution to public safety to the homeowners that donated the burn house. They were more private, where they definitely didn't want to come in front of the public, but we're extremely thankful for their contribution. Any questions, be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Chief? Tim, you want to start?
Yeah, I think I'll start since, you have another meeting available for this? Or is this it?
This is the one.
This is the one, so we have all sorts of questions. Where to start? I'll defer to Jill, see if she has any questions.
You still employ this guy as a firefighter?
No, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your service, and we hope you have a successful, I know you'll have a successful career moving over to St. Cloud, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I would echo those sentiments. I think you'll do great. We'll miss you, but you laid some great groundwork here, and something we'll continue to build on in the future, and we're very appreciative of that.
Thanks, Jill.
Yeah. For those that aren't aware, Tim and I also serve on the volunteer fire department, and so have the pleasure of working with Chief Kudrowski pretty close in a couple different ways. I think back to 3 years ago when you were hired as a full-time chief. It was Sartell's first full-time chief. It was a massive step for our city, our department, our overall community to take in going from a full volunteer department with a full-time fire marshal to a new building, a full-time fire chief. And I think there was a lot of questions of, is this the right time? Is the demand there of work? And I think looking back across those 3 years and chatting with you a couple times in the first year, it was like, holy cow, there's a lot here. And as you open up one page, there's a whole list of other things you need to get done. And I can personally attest to where you've brought in our department. Prior to any of this coming out of your opportunity in St. Cloud, I had shared with Chief Kudrowski privately that it's one of those things you don't know what you don't know. And we were at a drill one night, a training session one night, and it just hit me that our department is at a level now that I could rest assured that if any emergency happened to my family, our department would be able to respond to it and make it a better outcome than it would have otherwise had been. And looking back on some of the training and where our department was prior to Chief Kudrowski, it was, I at this point I wouldn't say the same thing. And that doesn't speak ill about our history. It really is meant to speak about his impact and his drive for better outcomes for our community. So thank you for everything you've done for Sartell. You'll do well in St. Cloud, and stay close.
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, I would echo what everyone said already. Chief being one of the first hires that I was part of on council, it feels great that we got it right. And you obviously play the most important role in that. And kind of like Ryan, our mayor, hit on there, and we've come in the past, is when you come with your reports and there's 30 to 35 plus events that you guys get involved with the community, that everyone can feel safe that if they have those situations that they'll be there to help. So, and obviously it starts from the top, so we appreciate everything you've done.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow up all that, so I would just re-comment on just kind of a very steadfast, calm, grounded leader, right? I think you bring that to this team and you bring that to this community, and in a role like yours, you're going to be missed. It's hard shoes to fill, and just want to say thank you for that type of leadership, and especially as a fire chief, of being so steadfast and calm, and really just kind of humble through the process, right? And so I really appreciated that about you in my short time I've gotten to work with you, but we'll wish you all, but nothing but the best as you move forward in your career.
Thanks, Jed. Thank you all. It's been an amazing opportunity. Thanks for having the confidence in me. It's been a really fast but long 3.5 years. This has been absolutely one of the most amazing opportunities I've had in my life. Every day it's been difficult to not want to stay here. You know, I absolutely love Sartell. You guys welcome me open arms, the council, staff, and the community. It's going to be, you guys always have a special place in my heart. I appreciate it. It's definitely in taking an opportunity personally and professionally that is a really unique opportunity. And as somebody who's going to end up, you know, I look at when Jim Hughes left, it was hard to see how are we going to fill those shoes, you know. He was an amazing guy, and here we are with Brandon doing an amazing job. You've seen the results he's put out in the first, you know, little short part of his career. I don't know how long he's been here. It feels like years now, but I know that a year from now, whatever, you'll have the next chief sitting in here, and you're gonna look back and go, "Yep, that's great." But no doubt you'll have an amazing chief here, and there's gonna be an amazing opportunity for somebody else to slip in here. So, thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words.
Thanks, Chief. Engineering and Public Works.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of council. You have a report. One thing I just wanted to point out is, you know, as approved at some of the previous meetings here, there's a lot of our street maintenance projects kicking off, so you'll see increased construction activity throughout the community over the coming weeks here. Happy to stand for any questions.
Any questions for engineering? Thank you. Community development.
Mayor, members of the council, you have my monthly report on the first meeting. As I'm gone at the following meeting for a week-long economic development course in Duluth. A few items I just wanted to discuss earlier. Stock Crossing in the meeting had their item, but I just wanted to say that Mark did finish his first review of all the plans over 200 pages and got that out in record timing. So we're very proud of them for that, so they can begin their work hopefully in the next few weeks here. And then an APO update. Anna is attending the meeting on Thursday very happily to discuss cost shares and breakdowns for regional projects, as well as some clarifications on some CRP funding. So any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for community development? Thanks, Gary. City Commission updates?
One update, we did post for the Planning Commission opening. It will be open until September 30th. So get the word out there if you have anyone in mind. It's a great first step into local government if they have any ambitions to pursue further.
Not sure if that's the advertisement that draws them in, but yeah. But I would speak to that as certainly it's an impactful role. It's an advisory board to the council and also staff members, and it is a great opportunity for people to serve. So thank you for that. City Council Committee updates, miscellaneous business. Tim.
Nothing tonight.
Jill.
Nothing tonight.
Alex.
Nothing tonight.
Jed.
Nothing tonight.
Only thing I would add is United Way has their Days of Caring next week. So we've got volunteering happening out in our community, 17th and 18th, I believe. So I do know we've got a full list and a full slate of projects happening. And we also have a school, the Student Council and National Honor Society are going to be attending as well. So anyone interested, we can make room for more. Go to the United Way website. As I mentioned earlier, we have a closed meeting that'll happen now to discuss the offer for and negotiation for property within the city of Sartell. And so pursuant to Minnesota statute, we will close the meeting